Hi, I'm Dave Sider, baby. This is Rock Radio UK, and today I'm speaking to the Himalayas. Hello, guys.
Hey, how are
Hey, how you
you?
doing?
Not so bad. I keep going to call you Everest for some reason. I don't know why, but
We've evolved.
introduce yourselves.
So I'm Joe. I'm the lead singer and guitarist.
And I'm Mike, I'm lead guitar.
Cool. Um, Himalayas, you've not been around a huge amount of time, but I didn't think so. But it's about 9, 10 years, isn't it?
I think it's 8. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, it's been yeah, 8.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
Been a
been
while.
well, been a while, but I think the first few years was kind of just playing small venues in Cardiff and just trying to find out what we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it took a few years for us to do that, and then decide that we were going to take this seriously.
Okay, right. Okay. You got an album which came out last year, from Hell to Here.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
So yeah,
tell me about that. Let's start with that.
um, So yeah, just songs that we'd written since kind of like 2017. I think some of the songs, there's like the latest songs were on, or the oldest songs from that album were written in 2017. So we just recorded that over 2 stints, and all of it was recorded in Wales. We wanted to do it kind of close to home.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's a year old, or yeah, just over
Yeah,
a
just
year
over
old,
a
which
year
is
now,
kind of
yeah.
strange now. But yeah, it's just we worked on that for a long period of time, so I think we were really happy to be able to release an album, and because when you're a band starting out, it's like a single, 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 and
Yeah.
then you kind of want to put your own stamp on it and show people what you're about as a band.
Yeah, just having the chance to do a body of work rather than, we've always kind of been quite exploratory and with like different things, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of influence going on, and you can't always capture that with one single. So it was just good to finally get a chance to sort of lay everything out a little bit. But it was also kind of off the back of COVID, so a lot of the songs were written during then. And it took a while just to kind of get everything moving again, just because of that, really. But we finally got it out, which is the main thing.
So this is your particular sound now. This album would basically signify your sound. So describe that to us now.
I think it's the start of it. I think because obviously because we've been writing since 2017 with it. I think our music taste has changed, and I
Hmm.
think it there are some influences on that album in terms of bands like Queens of the Stone Age, Foo Fighters, and other bands. But really for us, I think our taste has developed more into the rock genre. I think before we would probably describe ourselves as indie rock.
Yeah.
But now I think we're firmly in the rock territory, especially with music to come as well. So I think we I suppose alluded to that on our first album, but I think
Yeah.
moving forward, I think we sit more in the rock or alternative camp.
Yeah, we've built on what we did on the first album quite a lot, and again, like a lot of the songs, some of them were, as Joe said, quite old, so we've been playing them for years, but a lot of them we hadn't done live before they were released, or until we'd recorded them at least. So actually getting out and playing those songs as well sort of taught us a lot about what we wanted to do with them and where we wanted to go. So that whole kind of process has informed where we've ended up now. And yeah, the stuff we've been doing sort of recently is sits a lot more within the kind of rock sphere as opposed to indie.
Yeah. I mean, you brought out a single earlier in the year.
Yeah, we did.
VOV,
Yeah,
yeah.
VOV. So it's a song that we co-wrote with Brian Johnson from AC/DC.
Okay.
Um,
Nothing
so
like name dropping.
No, 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 no. I
Like
know
in
it's
there, yeah.
normally I don't love that kind of thing, but I guess when it's Brian Johnson, you can't. I mean,
Can't deny
you
the
can't
man.
just say it's the next door neighbor, you know. But yeah, I think so. We were sent lyrics by Brian after he heard songs from our debut album, and then it took us a while to write that song, purely because when you get sent lyrics by someone of that ilk, you kind of don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So we wrote like a number of versions of that song, and for a while weren't happy to send it back to him and say like this is what we've done. So I think we spent a while doing that, and then eventually plucked up the courage to send something over to him, and then from there it sort of developed. Uh, and yeah, we released it earlier this year.
Of
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah. So carrying on with the name dropping, we've got to say about one of your upcoming gigs.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, how the hell did you manage a support slot with Foo Fighters?
Well, our agent looks after Foo Fighters and Jack White and and other really big bands. And when we signed with our agent, they were like obviously mentioned bands that they were working with, and we always joked that it'd be like such an honor, and
Yeah.
to play with bands like that. But yeah, we were told about a year ago that we were doing it. So yeah, but we've known for quite a while. So it's always felt like a while off.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's
Next week.
it's next week, yeah, it's like a week tomorrow is quite alarming.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't want to get too excited about it because you know it's coming and it's going to be big. But as Joe said, we found out about it so far before that
Mm.
you just kind of put it to the back of your mind a little bit, and oh yeah, that's something that is going to happen eventually. And then all of a sudden, it's just kind of all come out because we've been recording. We're on tour at the moment, and then we've got the Foos gig next Tuesday, which is sort of the end of the tour.
Yeah.
So it's kind of everything's just happened at once, and we've not really had time to get our heads around it as much.
Yeah, I think it's just like we've been like, yeah, it's not really felt real until
Mm.
this moment. And when I saw photos of them playing in Manchester the other night, I think that's when it started to feel a little more real. Um, just seeing photos of that and seeing the show and stuff. So we're all really excited.
I mean, it's gonna be a huge gig, whatever way you look at it, whether it's opening for the Foo Fighters or just a massive audience that are gonna be um, open to your music as well now, which is
No,
gonna be a
definitely.
huge jump for you guys.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's the fact that it's in our home city,
Yeah.
it means even more to us. I think all of us got into music for a number of different reasons, but for myself, the dream of playing the Principality Stadium was always something we aspired to do. So I think to be able to do that and play the biggest venue in your home city, I suppose justifies the fact that you didn't do something sensible with your life.
Okay, fair enough. So that aside, I mean, you said you're on tour as well now, so you're doing a few dates around the country.
Yeah, yeah. So we played in Edinburgh last night, and then we're playing in
Leeds tomorrow.
Leeds. We've got Newcastle, London, and Bristol.
Oh,
So
Nottingham.
and Nottingham as well. Sorry. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking forward to it. So there's yes, and we just really excited because the shows have been selling out and selling really well. So we're really grateful to everyone for the support, I guess.
Yeah, like it's the first time we've done a headline tour in a long time, and to have the reception we've had so far has been amazing. The crowd last night in Edinburgh were brilliant, and as Joe said, it's been selling really well as well, which was kind of just a bonus more than anything. So it's great that everything feels like there's a bit of momentum now, and it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah. So to capitalize on that momentum, have you got more music coming out?
Yes, we've got a new single out on Friday. I can't think of what the date is. The 21st, is it?
Something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so it's a new single called Hung Up. So, and then we're hoping, obviously we've got more music recorded and written. So that'll be following it as well.
Yeah. So new album on the way then at some point, maybe later this year.
We'll see
Maybe
if
we'll
you're
see.
lucky.
We'll see.
Oh, you could tell me nobody listens. It's fine.
But yeah, would be releasing pretty steadily, I think, for the rest of the year at least. And we're very pleased with what's come out so far. So we'll see what happens there, but it certainly seems like a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, with the Spotify streaming thing, the way it works now is just keeping your name on the tip of everybody's tongue. So new release every couple of months or whatever. Tours like this, I mean, Foo Fighters, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody in Cardiff is going to know your name now.
Yeah.
So I work with half of the people who are going. So
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, big things are coming, really, aren't they? Or even bigger things.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just excited for the next year, I guess, because we've obviously got things that in the works for just more UK shows and Europe and America as well, which is going to be great. So yeah, just looking forward to the next year or year plus.
yeah, I think it's going to be very busy. And just the way things have been going recently, it just seems to be kind of constantly getting better, which is all you can ask for, really.
Well, I really like the album. for me,
Yeah.
it's my kind of take on the modern scene now because I'm ancient. I grew up with the old school and whatever, but I've got younger children myself who have taught me to open my ears and listen to new music. And it's like seeing your album or listening to your album as well. And I saw Cassette on Friday night as well.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing. The way rock music is going these days is just, just perfection now. I think it's
Yeah,
just,
no, definitely. I think we're really excited about the genre in general. I think it's starting to like for a while maybe had a little like not necessarily dip in terms of like what people are doing because people
mm,
were still creating great music, but I think the people's reception to rock music definitely dwindled for a little while, which
yeah,
obviously for ourselves we were really disappointed with, and you know because as rock fans we wanted we've always loved rock music, so I think the fact that it's starting to surge back again is great, and hearing more rock music on radio and things like that, so it's always great because for our ears that's brilliant. But I
yeah,
think yeah, it's just for ourselves, we love like older rock music as well. We're always heavily inspired or influenced by music that we grew up listening to, either from our parents' record collections or just bands that we listen to on rock TV or
yeah,
radio. And I think for us, even though we're trying to do something new and feel that feels fresh, that we're always going to have that influence and we're always going to want to do it the old school way. So this playing guitars through amps as opposed to Kempers, things like that. Just like playing music that feels live and isn't too perfect when people come and see us live. Like
yeah.
we make it as good as we possibly can. But also has that, the kind of uncontrollable nature. I think when we went to see bands when we were younger, and the fact that everything felt a little chaotic and a little you can feel it live. It doesn't have to be so perfect that because there's character to it.
Yeah, so it's all about the energy more than
Mm,
kind of getting everything to sound exactly as it does on the record. And as I was saying earlier, just with kind of doing those first album tracks live, they just all got a completely new voice and life when we were sort of going through them, working out new parts, and then you end up changing bits or adding bits on at the end and stuff like that. So we've kind of given ourselves quite a lot to be excited about in that respect anyway. But as Joe said, it does seem like there's a nice kind of positive upturn in the popularity of rock music at the moment. I don't know if it's necessarily, as you say, that it's kind of ever completely gone away, but I think maybe people listening to kind of guitar bands, there's been other sides of rock, more kind of metal
mm.
and stuff like that, that have done better in recent years, whereas now it does seem to be a bit of a resurgence in just sort of hard rock and that kind of thing. So this, suits us anyway.
I've got to say, coming from Wales, I mean, you're amongst what I call the Welsh invasion. There are so many good bands coming out of Wales these days. Those Damn Crows are doing exceedingly well. Florence Black, which is sort of like my sort of era, but yourselves as well, and more modern music. I mean, you must be quite excited for the scene itself in Wales.
Yeah, definitely. We know Tristan from Florence Black pretty well. And when we did a tour with Loveless, he was on that run with them. So, it's great to see like people from who you surrounding areas doing well as well, because there's a number of bands like you said, bands like James and the Cold Gun as well, who
Yeah.
just seem to be doing really well. So it's just great for the scene, and like it's always nice to see people you sort of saw a few years back in small venues within Cardiff break out from Wales, because I think sometimes there's a nature to like stay where you're from, and
Yes.
to build yourself up and do well in your home city or town is amazing, and those are the people that when they come to the show they make you they make you what you are, but then touring elsewhere is where you really I think find yourself as a band, because there's almost like you can be like cuddled by where you're from, because everyone's going to be nice to you because you're from
Yeah.
that area. But it's only when you go and play that hard show in another city where there's less people or people need to be impressed, as opposed to being like, oh, they're from where I'm from, so this
Mm,
is let's be
Mm.
nice. So I'm glad to see that bands from where we're from, from Wales, are doing that, and then obviously bands like Those Damn Crows, doing really well, and doing exceedingly well. So
Yeah,
it's
and
good to
there's been, the whole time we've been a band, there's been loads of great talent coming out of South Wales anyway. So it's always been there. And there's always been bands that we've enjoyed going to see live and stuff like that. But lending back into the kind of resurgence of rock and stuff like that, it does feel like now more than sort of maybe in the last sort of 5 or 6 years that probably as part of that, a lot of Welsh acts again a little bit more recognition and notice, which is all you can ask for, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I blame Tom Jones myself.
Yeah, yeah. You've got to be careful now. You don't want to say
Yeah.
anything that's going to upset us.
I saw Tom on Thursday night. He just blew me away.
Oh, how
Nice,
was it? Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. It's just a masterclass in blues and gospel and rock and roll, and it was just like,
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
he's still got it. I saw him a couple of years ago in the stadium, and he can still do it. It's insane.
At 84. It's just unreal. But there you go.
Yeah,
At 84, do you think you'll still be going?
I hope not.
Oh, on that bombshell, I think we'll wrap it up there. Himalayas, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.